Royal Rumble 96 to me is interesting because you haven't quite hit the Attitude Era yet, but yet you're right there in the midst of the New Generation era. And you would have about the following year, you would start to have some overtones towards the Attitude Era. But 96 uh, was an up and down year. I think financially, it was better than 95. But the Rumble, would it be better? Let's find out. So, this was the first year that they actually did a free for all. So, I was able to see the free for all match, and it was Duke the Dumpster Drosy taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And the winner of the match got the number 30 spot. The loser got the number 1 spot. Well, Duke the Dumpster beat Hunter Hearst Helmsley after Helmsley tried to use a weapon. I think it was some sort of brass knucks of some sort. Anyway, I give this match a star and a half. Um, it was kind of an introduction to Helmsley. I mean, he had come in May of the previous year, and he would go on to become Triple H, as y'all all know. Um, not a bad free for all match, but definitely just something to try to get the buy rate up. So you had a sunny intro to enter in the show, which was, it was good. She said viewer discretion is advised, but there was nothing up here that really warranted that. You had the Rumble intro as well. Ahmed Johnson defeated Jeff Jarrett in the first match by DQ. Why Ahmed couldn't just win the match straight out, I guess it's got to do with politicking on Jeff Jarrett's part. This match went about 6.5, a little bit over that, and it gets a star and 3/4. Not a bad match. Not too bad. So I give. I think it was decent. Todd Pettengill interviewed Diesel. Diesel basically said he was going to win the Rumble, and he ended up not winning the Rumble. So it was kind of pointless. Next up, you had the Smoking Guns taking on the Body Donnas. Both were good tag teams. This was a 2.25 star match. The main focus here was Sonny, though. You could tell Sonny was the main focus in this match. So, yeah, Smoking and Billy Gunn would later go on to have some success with the Road Dogg and the New Age Outlaws. So, yeah, you had a WCW spoof, which I thought was kind of funny. With Billionaire Ted, the Nacho Man, and the Huckster. They were kind of poking fun at WCW, even though at the time WCW was doing better business, and they would actually form the NWO a little bit further on and later on down the line. They were actually doing better, and they showed a Goldust kind of vignette and a Goldust versus Razor Ramon history. This match would later on, this match would be for the Intercontinental title. This match would be for the WWF Intercontinental Championship, in which Goldust would win in just under 14.5. This is a 3-star match. I like seeing Goldust. I like seeing Goldust kind of get the win here. I think it was a good move, and it ultimately helped his character. I hear him and Razor were supposed to have a rematch at Mania 12, with Razor getting his win back. But he left the company and signed with WCW, and it ended up being Piper who would face Goldust in a Hollywood backlot brawl. Next up, you'd hear from Rumble participants, and you would actually have the Rumble match before the WWF title match, which would be the next 3 Rumbles, actually 96, 97, and 98. It would be like that. And Shawn Michaels actually won this Rumble again, last eliminating Diesel. And you had 3rd place was Kama, 4th place was the British Bulldog. This match went just under an hour, 3.5 stars. This was a great Rumble, much better than 95, I thought. I actually like this Royal Rumble. I think it's a very underrated Royal Rumble, and I think it is definitely, one that needs to be checked out. And overall, just check the Rumble match out. The longest performance was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who went just under 50 minutes. And then you had the squat teamer number 2, who was the shortest at 24 seconds. But, like I said, this Rumble had some star power. A lot more star power in it than 95. I mean, realistically, you had Diesel could have won, Michaels could have won, Hart. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, you could say if they wanted to build up a new star. The ringmaster, who became Stone Cold Steve Austin, would later go on to win Rumbles, but you could say he could. Bob Backlund could have made sense just because, as a dark horse, to Jerry Lawler. I mean, you had a couple guys, more options, but I think the obvious, real obvious choice was Shawn Michaels. I mean, there was nobody they were going to go with other than Shawn, and I think it was the right move. He would later go on to WrestleMania 12 and defeat Bret the Hitman Hart in the classic 60-minute Iron Man match. This was an absolute banger and an absolute great match. But yeah, Shawn Michaels got 8 eliminations, and it was weird though because there was not a single elimination until the number 9 spot when Yokozuna came out. So that's pretty interesting. I don't really think I've seen that often in the Rumble where it's the first 8 or 9 guys and there's not an elimination. Usually there's an elimination at like the 3rd or 4th entrant. But yeah, Doc Hendricks then interviewed Diesel after the match, and Diesel was a little upset, obviously. And then The Undertaker comes down, and him and Diesel kind of brawl, which would set up their match for WrestleMania 12. The main event of the night was the WWF Championship match between Bret Hart and The Undertaker. This match I give 4 stars, and I know people are going to hate on my rating. I'm a fan of this match. You know, people may shit on the match or may say it's 2.5 or even a star. I know it was a DQ, which ultimately takes out the enjoyment of the match, but I think they told a good story. Even if the pace was a little slow, it got the pace built up over time, and I think that was something that needed to be noted in this match. These guys are two great workers, and I definitely recommend their SummerSlam 97 match though over this one, but I still think that this one was good for what it was. Ultimately, Undertaker got the win by DQ, so Bret Hart would retain the WWF Championship. Great call here. I mean, you know, they couldn't give the belt to Taker because Taker was going to feud with Diesel, but it made sense to have Taker win by DQ and have Diesel kind of cost them the match, because then Taker would actually cost him the match at, I think it was In Your House the following month when him and Hart fought in the cage, and you knew that it wasn't going to be Diesel and Shawn again, so you knew they were ultimately leading up to Shawn against Bret, and it was just great storytelling all around. I like the way that they kind of intertwined everything, and was just, made everything look good. This is the Ultimate Rumble that it's not the best Rumble, but it's definitely not the worst. It's somewhere in the middle of the road. I say maybe a 6.5 out of 10 overall. It's definitely a Rumble that if you have about 3 hours to spare and you want to just watch a classic pay-per-view, give it a look. It's definitely one that, like I said, you might not be disappointed in if you go back and watch it. And then again, my taste is different. I've seen some people review this 3 out of 10. I've seen some people put it as high as 8 out of 10. Me, I'm somewhere in that 6 range. I'm somewhere there in the middle. Me, I thought the card stayed consistent, and it was a pretty decent card when you look at it stacked down for it to be, 5 matches, and then the free-for-all match, I kind of toggled into the rating as well because it was a part of the show, and it was the first free-for-all, so it kind of did its thing as far as told a story, and, Hunter Hearst Helmsley ended up going number 1 and ended up getting eliminated late. But that is it for the 96 Rumble. The next couple of ones we would start getting into the Attitude Era, so I'm excited to go back in and watch these. Especially the 97 one would be the Stone Cold Steve Austin show. 98 would also be the Austin show. And yeah, so we'll see what goes on in the 97 Rumble. As always, guys, like I said, click that subscribe button, like, comment, and just let me know down in the comments which non-Rumble review do you want me to review next. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, it's your boy Killer Cam. Stay on the grind, and I love y'all. Peace. I'm out.